Good day. We, Olena Kononova and Alena Yurzhenko, present an article titled Computerized Adaptive Testing in Educational Electronic Environment of Maritime Higher Education Institutions. An important role in the organization of the modern educational process is played by the use of the latest information technologies in the process of selection, accumulation, systematization, and transfer of knowledge. The provided new technological and methodological opportunities are a priority in the developed methods of control and testing of knowledge, skills, and abilities of students. One of the tools for managing the learning process is test control. That is why one of the problems that require priority attention is to improve the testing process to increase its efficiency. Computer testing can be used in three ways. Computer testing as an alternative form of test presentation. It means options and consequently the order of presentation of tasks are fixed. The next one is computer testing with automatic generation of different test options. Options are formed automatically from the existing set of tasks according to the rules set by the developer. And the last one is computer adaptive testing. For each subject in the testing process, an individual set of tasks is formed. Adaptive testing is generally adequate to modern trends in distance education and opens up new opportunities for improving the efficiency of educational process. The study of computerized adaptive testing in the training of maritime professionals teaching English for professional purpose hasn't been fully implemented. Therefore, the purpose of this work is to analyze the content of tests and results of computer testing of students to assess the effectiveness of this type of teaching and improve testing methods in teaching English for professional purposes. The task of our work includes the following: description of types of adaptive testing, examples of adaptive testing, analysis of its advantages and disadvantages, evaluation of testing. Computer adaptive tests, which are a fast and quite effective way to measure the level of learning, are becoming more and more widely used for input, diagnostic, intermediate, and final testing. To determine the level of knowledge of the students, you can conduct initial testing and then conduct a control test with questions of this level. This type of adaptive tests is more appropriate to conduct at the initial stage of studying the topic in order to diagnose the initial level of knowledge of the student and further correction by presenting tasks of optimal complexity. Currently, there are three options for forming an adaptive test. The first one is pyramidal, when without a preliminary assessment, each student is given a task of medium difficulty and then, depending on the answer, the next task is formed. When creating computerized adaptive testing of this type, we use LMS Moodle, which supports the lesson activity. This activity allows you to create a single task, add a page with the data, and after the answer to improve to the next page with a question that will depend on the answer provided by student. The first page of the test consists of a task, quasi-professional situations, the authentic test of which was taken from the internet newspaper, the question, for possible answers, and the scale of progress, that is element of gamification and reflects the percentage of correctly completed tasks. Depending on the chosen answer, the next page, if the answer is correct, will have the text of the next question and 4 possible answers to it. If the text to the question is incorrect, then the next page contains a repetition of the text and a simpler question, and fewer options for answering it. The second method, Flexi method, initially uses any level of difficulty, gradually selecting the appropriate one for the student. Using the activity lesson of LMS Moodle when creating the first page of the test and the question to it, the average level of difficulty is selected. Teacher-managed setting of lesson activities, progress bar to see students' progress while completion, ongoing score to know the grade to pass, menu to choose previous page any minute. He also provides the option to try a question again, choose maximum number of attempts, restricts the access, links this activity with previous one. The linked media chosen by teacher is instructions on how to use lesson activities. The maximum number of answers is 4, the time limit is 60 minutes. The activity is attempted offline using mobile application. Students are allowed to review. There is special setting called competencies, which allows teacher to connect the activity with course competencies from competency framework. Competency framework allows teacher to add the list of competencies added by an administrator from standards of training certification certification and watchkeeping for seafarers International Convention, and International Maritime Organization Model Course 3.17 Maritime English. Competency Framework also has progress bar, where students see the list of activities needed to achieve competencies of the course. When a student answers the questions created by teacher correctly all the time, the questions become more and more difficult. If a student makes a mistake at least once, the questions become easier. In the third stratified method, stratified adaptive, tasks are taken from the bank of tasks divided by levels of difficulty. If the answer is correct, the next task is taken from the upper level. If it is incorrect, it is taken from the lower one. Distinctive features of adaptive testing in comparison with other forms of testing are the following. Each subject receives his own set of tasks, so the content and length of the test may differ for different subjects. Each subject is evaluated individually at his level with a minimum measurement error. The example of a stratification testing method on LMS Moodle, lesson activity, where a student can choose his level of knowledge about burns by himself, can be seen in the figure right now. The analysis of scientific knowledge and pedagogical practice demonstrates that the students' tests can be effective. By analyzing the data of success after using the test in electronic course, one can observe that the current state of formation of the communicative competence of future ship engineers of the second year of Maritime College of 2019-2020 year is better compared with 2018-2019 academic year. According to the results, we see an increase in the success and knowledge quality. The data was taken from the processing of control testing result on LMS Moodle of Kherson State Maritime Academy, stop and check activities and progress tests. Stop and check is testing conducted by the end of every module. Progress tests are conducted twice a semester. The survey is conducted by cadets of Kherson State Maritime Academy, were created by English teachers in Google Forms. Links to the surveys were located in the course. The results of the surveys have showed the following data. According to the survey results, the biggest part of students find adaptive testing useful and comfortable for English for specific purpose studying. Today, learning through the use of computer technology has a number of features that significantly distinguish it from the traditional one. Studies have shown that the use of adaptive computer testing technologies can reduce testing time by 50–60%, helps to individualize each test and get a more accurate assessment of knowledge and skills. The tasks offered to the student become more complex gradually and ideally suit his knowledge and skills, increasing his motivation to pass the tests. The expediency of adaptive control follows from the need to streamline traditional testing. Every teacher understands that a well-prepared student doesn't need to be given easy tasks, as they don't have significant developmental potential. Similarly, due to the high probability of the wrong decision, it makes no sense to give difficult tasks to weak students. It is known that difficult and very difficult tasks reduce the learning motivation of many students. The use of tasks that correspond to the level of preparedness significantly increase the accuracy of measurements and minimize the time of individual testing to about 5–10 minutes. Adaptive testing allows to provide computer delivery of tasks at the optimal, approximately 50% level of probability of the correct answer. We see the prospects of our further research in the direction in the study of adaptive testing in the system of in-depth learning. Thank you for attention.